Whoopity whoop. So yeah, this is just a quick check to make sure that sound balance for game audio and my audio is correct here. Because honestly, I don't think I'm gonna be bothering with the complexities of doing a voiceover in post because, well, that just seems like extra work. And honestly, this is a thing I'm sharing with friends. It is nothing that hecking complicated. I mean, I might go public with these videos at some point, but honestly, I don't feel the need to, and I don't exactly see why. I don't see why doing so is required, and I don't see why. I don't see why I need to be complicated about this when you guys are just here to see me showing off my rockets and maybe listen to me rambling. And honestly, if people would rather just listen to the rockets and such, I will be more than happy to record with, you know, two audio tracks and then just pull the audio track for the version I directly upload. Or, like, have two versions uploaded, one with and without, and one without, my chatter. But, hey, if nothing else, I figure me chattering helps you guys understand what the heck's going on screen. So yeah, hooray for loading screens. Although also, hooray for 64-bit Kerbal Space Program, because, yeah, this would have crashed probably right about now, in previous versions of KSP. But this install is kind of stable as a boulder, wedged between two much bigger boulders at the bottom of a river. Really more like at the bottom of a lake, to be honest. Yeah, just so that I get this out of the way, if you're hearing music in the background of my audio, it's because I'm listening to stuff on my iPad when I'm, waiting for stuff like this to happen. Um, Usually, like, just random music you can find on YouTube. Um, and, also occasionally watch, like the Cinema Wins dudes be pretty chill and, well, pretty cool too. Um, and I'm just sort of waiting for loading to happen, because loading still needs to happen for me to play the game. We haven't quite advanced far enough for that not to be a thing anymore. Unfortunately, but oh well.
So Stark is Paul Allen in this universe? Okay, first, this MIT article is about exactly what the headline says it is. Second, at age 16, Stark was already theorizing and developing AI. And third, this is both a contradictory statement slash self-fulfilling Ultron prophecy and biggest mistake you'll end up making. So far, at least. Also, is that his fire safety robot body? Is that why he's such a moron? Because Teenage Tony built it? I read that people are complaining that Zemo's December 16th, 1991 date didn't match up with this one. But this is the headline from the day of his funeral. Seemingly the day after his death. How would you the creator of Space Paranoids? Well, you would have showed up for Don Cheadle. Okay, so weird coincidences, I guess. Apparently Favreau let slip that Hilary Swank would make a cameo in Iron Man as a diversion from Sam Jackson's Nick Fury cameo? But is it just me, or is this actress a dead-ringer for Swank? And speaking of cameos, smart of Favreau to just watch and not gamble this time around. He ain't his money is Stark, and he knows it.
People call it the Da Vinci of our time. What do you think of that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't pay him.
And what do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?
That's not bad. Double honesty. Self-tinting windows, Jarvis's silky smooth wake-up call, this view. You know, I wanted to make some connection to Robert Downey Jr.'s 80s and 90s fame roots, but honestly, the thing I remember him most from in the 80s was the Pretty Boyfriend and Weird Science. So, yeah, can't you picture that kid, whatever his name was, listening to this song, Mitch Kramer style, with headphones on after a night of underage drinking?
Is it better to be feared or respected? I say, is it too much to ask from him?
I'm not sure comic Tony Stark is quite as devil-may-care, happy-go-lucky as Robert Downey Jr., but Robert Downey Jr. made this genius billionaire inventor his own.
That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far.
And as one of my favorite speeches, it's even more impressive that they wrote it right before building this scene. Tony Stark isn't immune to a missile blast. Yet. Nope. So there's this shot that's only 1 frame long, and it seems like while being waterboarded, he had the idea for the palladium ring in his arc reactor. It's interesting that they hint at Stark Industries dealing with terrorists, but you could still easily assume these weapons were all stolen by the Ten Rings. It's still the first step in Tony's unraveling. Beautiful, weirdly.
Start working for me if you're getting a dying. You'll set you free.
Situational awareness. Important week for you, isn't it? Man, I love that line. Even me, the ultimate optimist, would struggle when facing my imminent death like this. But Yinsen speaks the truth. We're only here for a blip as it is, so make your time count. Sorry to get all preachy on you. So I know he just said working in response to what is he doing, but I choose to believe they're actually playing a game of Go Fish. This is one of those scenes where I have no clue what's technically going on, but man, does it look cool and make me want to quit everything and become an engineer slash genius.
That's been watching the hawk for 15 lifetimes. Something for 15 minutes.
Mark 1 shadowing.
It allowed the great Genghis Khan to rule from the Pacific to the Ukraine.
History lessons. Robert Downey Jr.'s workout routine. Whoa, terrorist Tom Morello? What a terrifying intro for the Mark 1. In the shadows, stalking these goons. And as unrealistic as this concept is, somehow they made this suit crude enough to really seem like something two geniuses could build in a cave with limited resources. It's not without its design flaws, but fortunately, there's always dumb henchmen you can count on to execute themselves. Sincere moment between short-lived friends. Even the emotionally stunted Tony understands the subtext of that thanks and completely submits to Yinsen's last commission. There has to be a draft of this screenplay where he emerges from the cave to Black Sabbath, right? I fully expected it in theaters. In hindsight, it was the right call not to play Iron Man maintain the intensity of this scene where he tortures everybody. Even Wilhelm. Optimism.
What's the busty?
Rhodey to the rescue. Also hugging.
Effective immediately. I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer.
Turn it over and you leave.
That's what we do. We're
Well, technically, you're the Iron Monger, but I see what you mean.
Come on, we built that thing that shut the hippies up.
You know, the Kevin Flynn's and Lebowski's of the world. So, this is something so simple, but it's a perfect example of what makes this movie so well done. There's nary a wasted frame in this whole film. We see Tony build the first arc reactor, and then Yinsen installs it, and plants it into Tony's chest off screen. So this time we skip the build to get to see Pepper actually put it in.
Ever
Too bad, Terrence. You could have been War Machine in this film had you just taken the time. You'd think that the slow build of an Iron Man suit would get boring, but man, does it not. There's something so satisfying about seeing him work on tiny, minute details of both the boot and arm piece, showing all the naked functionality and insane amount of design, engineering, and the occasional hiccup that goes into the Mark II. Again, concept hard to buy, execution totally believable. And I love that they take the time to show us how difficult just hovering is at first. So as he slowly gets the hang of it and finds his balance, we feel like we're on this journey with him.
Yeah, I can fly.
Complain that these inside the helmet shots are only to save Robert Downey Jr.'s ego all you want. They're awesome, inventive, and show us how ridiculously amazing his heads-up display is, and further solidify how much of a genius he is to be able to process all that information on the screen. One more look at the intricacy and detail of the suit. Robert Zell's flying like a champ. And again, it's like a magic genie suit. Whatever you need or want to happen, whatever capability you think it has, and more. And somehow every feature is still conceivable.
Record excluding flight is 85,000 feet, sir. Records are made to be broken.
I know this seems risky, but this line,
I've got to run before you can walk.
is exactly what gives Tony the upper hand in his final battle with Iron Man. Good thing he installed solid state drives in his suit, and boot time on discs prevented this movie from ruining it. Helpful robot. Another pepper burn, but with a side of sweetness. So what's that, like sweet Chipotle? Some might criticize Tony for not telling Rhodey and the government to go find and destroy the remnants of his Mark I, but really, without the arc reactor, it's just a really heavy suit of armor. Oh, Jarvis, you minx. Throwing out a little Infinity War shadowing.
Cisco had a big plan to get a shell metal full titanium alloy to be served in actual satellites.
Using the titanium alloy from the satellites is a great reason for the gold color in his suit.
With great effort.
There has to be some fan fiction theory out there about how Stan Lee is actually a time-traveling godlike character similar to Jacob from Lost, right?
Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. You'd believe that.
Yeah, and then why? Ah, Coulson. It's not like an acronym is staring you in the face. Come on, get it together. See, this is one of those wins that sends people in the comment section saying, that sounds more like a sin. But mentioning S.H.I.E.L.D. in this tongue-in-cheek way is the win. And wouldn't it be boring if I just said mentioning S.H.I.E.L.D. in a tongue-in-cheek way?
The other end? How you the other end?
Flirting.
At least the reaction from you.
Motion against.
So that could be distracting. Number two,
Town called Valmira.
you may have forgotten that Yinsen comes from. So it has an extra impact on Tony. Apparently Barney's ex-girlfriend Nora has been in the news game for a long time. Iron Man's version of Finestra. It really just doesn't get any cooler than this. This scene still gives me chills the way it did the first time I saw him get in the suit in theaters. And then he just takes a quick flight over to Afghanistan. So awesome. Is that snow? Did they actually add snow to this Hollywood set in order to make a believable and accurate Afghanistan, even though the majority of people it's supposed to be hot? Yep. Digital anti-stormtrooper.
It's all yours.
Ooh, that voice. Also generosity. Badass good guy. What a fun and intense scene. Iron Man's first aerial battle where he's just trying to escape with tension throughout that's undercut with his apathetic conversation with Rhodey.
Jogging his hand.
I thought you were driving.
Right, I was driving permanent jog.
Iron Man cartoon theme. Saving the guy whose wing you trashed.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've done.
You mean like stealing Cap shield? Right then. That's when Obadiah realized the suit was nothing without the reactor, and he didn't need fake stand-in pre-Ben Kingsley Mandarin. Man, that's gotta sting. Wasn't it you who gave this speech?
Bow and arrow. Once was the pinnacle of weapons technology.
Remember when you guys had us outnumbered? Yeah. It's interesting that throughout this movie, Tony is handed things, but when he gets back from Afghanistan, he says,
There's nothing to sign. There's the next mission.
after learning that weapon shipments were being made without his knowledge through being handed pictures. Maybe a bit of a stretch, but I buy it.
Well, I could do it.
Sweet moment between these two. Also, are there some kind of metal contact burns on his neck?
I know. Took off the road.
If there's one thing that aspiring villains could learn from Jeff Bridges, it's not slow talk interrogation or backhanded creepy compliments.
You are very well.
personal space. Ooh.
Look, there was determined.
See what I mean? Forget about our appointment.
Nope, right now. Come with me. We're gonna have it right now. Yep, follow me.
Ah, Coulson. Always for the best time.
Kid, yeah.
Alright, Tony. Now you're shocked, but still paralyzed. But shocked. No, more paralyzed, but still shocked. Dumb robot to the rescue.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Correct.
Next time, baby.
Also correct. Though not your chance.
I gotta be bigger.
That's not just innuendo. She saw this. So she'd be expecting a suit 10 feet tall.
Loading screen is more or less close to being over. Hooray! Um, yeah, sorry if I'm less than nominally energetic, but it's been a hecking long evening, and I'm probably gonna head up to sleep in not too terribly long, cause even being nocturnal has its limits. Um, yeah, it's like pretty regularly pretty heckin' warm, here in Michigan. So, being nocturnal has its benefits when you do not have access to anything resembling an air conditioner. And, what the heck. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 30 minutes to stop recording.
Okay, I set your stop recording alarm for 8:06 a.m.
Alright, let's just turn this into a proper episode. I mean, worst case scenario, I can edit the audio track to change how loud or quiet it is, or, worst case scenario, I just ditch the audio altogether and, uh, you know, record in, voiceover in post. Which, ironically, I said I wasn't gonna do, but oh frickin' well. You knows me, I don't always tell the total truth. Alright, let's just do something different. So, Okania Bakai on the Celestial Rocket. Here's hoping that I don't actually need to use that other one, because being able to try for a solar trajectory, and get some of that sweet, solar orbit science, could be fun. Yeah, still haven't gotten around to figuring out how that KSP trajectory optimizer tool works. Although I am gonna grab, actually gonna once we load onto the pad, get that opened up and ready to see about recording all the stats it wants for your initial orbits and schnitzel. Right, yet another rocket where I really, really need to get around to action grouping the fairings. Alright, which way is... Okay, this was actually timed not half bad. putting to good use the lessons we learned during payload testing. So yeah, everything seems to be going nominally. Won't know until this ends, which, well, fine. Yeah, I'm probably gonna just call the recording once once the launch finishes here. Yeah, once we're either in orbit or on the trajectory to go to the moon, whichever is the most convenient, to be honest. Sorry about that. I wasn't kidding when I said I was sleepy. So sorry if I'm kind of vaguely unintelligible, because I'm tired as hell. This version hasn't actually implemented the planned upgrades to the Celestial series going forward. Honestly, even if this does make it to 10 tons to low Earth orbit, still not really planning to... I'm still not really planning to, continue directly with the Celestial series as much as I'm planning to develop like an upgraded version that is technically a completely hecking different rocket. Visible damage to the core stage, and it didn't instantly disintegrate, so... oh well. A failed experiment, nothing more, nothing less. Ugh. Frack it, I'm gonna go set a timer for 15 minutes and take a nap, and then I'll just catch you guys in orbit. Because I'll get this thing to orbit, and then I'll deploy the solar panels, and then I'm probably gonna just pause. I mean, I'm honestly probably just gonna exit the game and then go take, like, at least a nap. Probably just go to sleep for the next, don't really know how long from now until, like, 4 or 5:30 in the afternoon, evening, whatever. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wake up like around 5 p.m. because that seems like that seems like it's gonna be a good number, assuming I get to sleep by like 8 or so. Probably gonna be closer to 9 when I get to sleep, which still gonna be, 8 hours or so. And yeah, whole lot of debris go crunch. So yeah, this is yet another celestial type rocket going up into space on a slow pitch program trajectory. You guys can probably tell that I'm honestly kind of fucking bored, can't you? Oh. Well, I would say this is a pre-optimization version, but technically this iteration, both the upper stage that will on later iterations wind up with the moniker of Centaur K from kerosene, and the Agena transfer stage still use Cavia B just because I didn't edit this version because I developed the Celestial prior to unlocking bipropellant RCS. And prior to unlocking bipropellant RCS, Cavia B is the best option mechanically, even if in real life it wouldn't have been as viable because it technically needs a bit of unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine to catalyze the thrusters or something. And as a result, it would have been basically just better off using conventional hydrazine thrusters. But it works in-game, and it produces better specific impulse than all the other options, so frack it. I don't care that it wouldn't work in real life. Let's do it. Also, fairings that really should be action grouped, but, aren't. That is one annoying thing I've noticed. There tend to be sort of weird ghost stages that pop up when you adjust staging. this case, it was just setting it up so that when this separates from that, this engine and these thrusters are lit and or powered on immediately instead of needing to wait for a bit in the event of a failure of this stage to put things into space. Because technically, that XLR-81 engine is actually a bit more reliable than the early Russian staged combustion engines powering Centaur K. For those who haven't yet watched that 1 hour long ramble, and therefore don't understand that Centaur K thing, future iterations of this, turns out, not sure why, but I'm pretty sure it's a case of this with a payload that doesn't include its own avionics is actually technically overmass. And cause I don't like rockets that rely on I don't find rockets that rely on the avionics of the payload for control to be at all realistic. I wound up taking the controller that I'm using up here, the Thor Delta, and sticking it down here on this stage, and then slapping a Centaur controller up here on this stage, which has the added bonus of enhancing on-orbit loiter for this stage, because 1, it uses less power while active, 2, it can hibernate during time warp and the like, or while inactive, which means that it can just park in orbit using only about 25 watts on the Centaur K controller in and of itself, which, combined with Okanieba Kai's transfer stage and all its control cores also being able to hibernate, means that Centaur K can pretty much sit in orbit near indefinitely thanks to solar panels producing more than enough power to keep everything recharged, pretty much indefinitely. At least in theory. I haven't upgraded them or anything, because we also have more advanced solars available, which is a thing. Yeah, the LR-105 NA6 engines are rock solid in terms of their reliability. Like, damn near 300 minutes mean time between failure. And I get that, I get that, the LR-105s are earlier engines that have been upgraded extensively, while the, 11D33s are, Soviet parts that even, in this era are still relatively new, even though the NK9, sort of obsoletes, like the LR-105s. I am going to have to check just how terrible the LR or the NK9V's reliability is. Because if it's got, a god awful reliability, then I'm just not going to want to touch it with like a 200-foot long pole potentially. But if the reliability isn't actually all that terrible on it, it may wind up replacing the LR105s because of similar thrust but higher specific impulse, if I recall correctly. Which means that the LR105s will be very obsolete. I'm gonna exploit the fact that doesn't model these solar panels being able to break off due to G stresses. Extend these and power on one of the integrated Agena Omni antennas, because yay, Omni antennas. Then I'm gonna go sleep now, or at least go lie down on the couch and nap, probably for a bit longer than I should. I'll just use the video editor to cut out. Well, actually, I know that we already know the celestial launch vehicle is entirely capable of putting close to this mass into orbit. This has more than enough delta V needed to finish off orbit in the event that this fails to put it into space, or put it into orbit. And we've got enough delta V in this stage to put this whole thing into orbit without ever touching its propellant, so I am less than concerned. So, I'll just stop the recording here and pick you folks up next time when we send this off to moon.